been laid off in the 2020s? Can I have some honesty? Have you been laid off in the 20s? Is that all? Wow, I'm surprised it's not more. Was that in 2020? Yeah, how about in 2022? Some of you. Okay. Still can't get my deck up. Oh, it's up, it's up, it's up. Okay. So I am going to apparently turn the tables on AI. That's my plan. So, now my clicker doesn't want to work. Oh dear, this is going to be interesting. Okay, so I want to talk about the 2020s first and foremost, because I actually think it really sets the scene for what I have been seeing in the marketplace. And I think it's really worth the reminder that we started off with unprecedented, we all got sick of that word, pandemic we'd never experienced before, and TA was fired, majorly downsized, right? And then 2021, 2022 was, yeehaw, everyone's getting rehired, you guys worked your butts off, some of you got some ludicrously high salaries and you worked really, 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 really hard. And then companies realized how irresponsible they had been in their overhiring and everybody got chucked out again, right? The layoffs started. Who's kept their jobs? The people that were irresponsible about the overhiring, but not TA. TA got chucked out again. Big soccer punch. I got a bit excited with the Bitmojis this year, sorry. I wish my clicker would work. And now, where we're at now is a dumpster fire. Okay. Do you agree? It's quite challenging out there. How many of you have got friends who are heads of or directors of TA who can't get work? Right? Are they really good directors of TA and heads of TA? Thank you. Just proved my point. Thank goodness. Okay. Oh my God. Why won't my clicker work? Okay. So what I'm seeing is a lack of psychological safety in the dumpster fire. I am seeing a lot of talent acquisition who is fighting to keep their jobs. They are overloaded with requirements and it's firefight. There is no time to push back on the misbehavior of managers. But the problem is, if you continue protecting your butt to keep your job while you don't have those amazing TA leaders protecting you, you're going to get turfed out again. Because I have seen some stuff while I was researching my second book that just came out that kind of shocked me. I don't believe for 1 minute what you do can be replaced by AI, but that doesn't mean that companies don't think that. Companies do think that. They think you're a cost center and you're replaceable. And if you're firefighting and people pleasing and not setting boundaries, then you're going to get walked over. So this is really crucial time to actually amp up the human. That's really important right now. So seeing Nerida did such a great job of introducing me, just really quickly why I think that I have the right to talk to you about this is that I have 20 plus years in the industry. I've been out-house, I've been in-house, I've been trainer, I've worked with teams all around the world. I have spoken on 5 continents. I don't say that because that makes me feel amazing. I say that because I hear exactly the same thing from teams everywhere, including the teams I have the honor to work with everywhere. It's the same problem. And technology is not going to fix it. It's a human collaboration and communication problem. And I'm the author of The Robot Proof Recruiter, currently in its beautiful orange, 2nd edition, that came out in 2022. Don't think you'll make me rich if you buy one, but this I wrote for you. This is for recruiters. And then I decided as I came into this year to make the case for you. This book says everything that talent acquisition pros probably feel that they cannot say right now to managers, the hiring managers, and company leaders. It is blunt, it is brutal, it is backed up with 60 other voices besides my own. And if you buy it, I will make 75p. So please don't think you're going to make me rich and that I'm shamelessly plugging. But if this landed on every company leader's desk, you would suddenly get the funding and the help you needed. I know that's a huge promise, but it's really ballsy. It's blunt, it's Australian, it's direct. It says what needs to be said. So, what you need to understand is TA is a cost on a spreadsheet as far as leaders are concerned. And their priorities at the current time for 2024 are generative AI. That is pressure that they are receiving from the board and their shareholders. AI, AI, AI. It's all you're going to hear all day. AI. Get rid of recruiters. Put in this. Do this, right? It's just BS. But it's because they think that Gen AI is the start of something big, and they need to outcompete with technology. That's their priority. If we look at another report, this one is from PwC, again, it's the pressure. We need Gen I. We need to boost our profits. It's all got to be done. But this is the line that scares me on this statement. Making it more difficult for a CEO to take a wait-and-see approach. So what do? Do we just throw TA out, put some AI in and hope? Sadly, I think some companies are going to do that unless you step up and really show them why they can't do that, why it's ridiculous, because we know it's ridiculous, right? Everyone agree that it's ridiculous? And has anyone asked the candidates if they want to deal with AI first? So, I came across this. If you message me afterwards, I can send you my deck so you can have the link to this little video. This is what you need to remember about AI all the time. When you're having your discussions, make sure you know these three things. First off, justice. Does it give justice? Have any of you typed in "show me a CEO" into ChatGPT? Has anyone done that? Do it. White men. No females. I know tons of female CEOs, but no, white men. No people of color. No any kind of diversity whatsoever. White men. You could ask it to do it with pirates and it does the same thing. Transparency. How are the tools created when you are talking to people today, all of these vendors? Tell me, what data set did you use to create this tool? Who created the algorithm? The vast majority of people using ChatGPT are white men. So that means that the data going in has a male bias. A lot of the data that's already out there already has a male bias. And that's just gender diversity. So how are the tools created? You need to be, when your C-suite comes down and says we're putting this tool in, how was the tool created? They'll be like, sorry? I need to make sure that this isn't more biased than I am. How is the tool created? We need to know. And the final thing, is it hallucinating? So, you know those wonderful articles on LinkedIn that are all AI generated? You know how many people have put ChatGPT responses into that? So now it's spitting out more rubbish? It's like rubbish and rubbish and rubbish. What does it? Ask it a question and see what it puts out. And then actually do your research. Go back to Google and search and see if it's the truth it's spitting out, because it's probably not. So this is how you start fighting your corner. Okay, but this is what else you need to do. Sorry, I did leave this one in because it's just so cute. Those that were here last year, that slide's familiar, yes? So your job as talent acquisition is to partner with your managers, who I'd rather you called managers, and take recruitment off their plate. But how can you do that if they act like this? I never do videos, so I'm praying this works.
You ready, babe?
Hey, can you drive? I got some work to do.
Okay. This place is sweet.
Yeah, sweet.
Come on, we're here. Look around. Dude, look. Check out these crazy rocks.
You know what's crazy is like, how come this thing is not connected? Bluetooth not on?
Not even looking at the snow. Well, we're home.
Finally, I get some Wi-Fi.
Oh my God, I love that. It's very funny because obviously if that was in the reverse, we'd all be up in arms by how wrong that is to throw a woman off a cliff. And you can't actually throw your managers off a cliff. But that moment when he actually shushes her, oh my God, I feel angry. But do you have managers that ignore your emails? Yeah? I'm seeing some subtle nodding going on here. Do you have managers who cancel their interviews last minute? Do you know, I put one in here, an example. This man drove 3 hours to his interview. He's sitting in the lobby, foyer, whatever you call it, waiting for his interview, and his interview got cancelled. He then had to drive 3 hours home. Can you imagine the price of the petrol alone, and let alone the time and the stress and what you think of that company? And if that company, whether it's B2B or B2C, you are not recommending their services to anybody, right? So this behavior of theirs and this disrespect that they have impacts people. And it's really crucial that we nip that in the bud. So the best recruiters truly understand that they are there to recruit the people that decide the fate of the company. I worked at a consultancy that hired a sales director without my input. If I'd had input into that hire, I would have gone, no, there's something not right. And the company ended up imploding because the sales director didn't sell and he didn't renew any POs. And the bench filled up and eventually it imploded. It really can make the difference who you hire. And I'm sure you know people that you've hired who really made a positive impact as well. But I want you to shift your attitude to this. You're going to talk about AI and I'm talking about human. I know it's annoying. However, you are not there to waste the company's money or time, which is also money. Feel that shift in energy. When that manager is misbehaving, you're like, hey, I'm not here to waste the company's time and money. And this delay is costing this. Your cancelled interview is costing this. Me having to go out to market again is costing this. You need to start working it out and talking business speak. They will understand that speak. They don't understand, oh, it's very annoying. One of my mentees messaged me this week and she said, you know, recruitment's difficult, right? And I'm like, your manager doesn't give a shit that your recruitment's difficult. All they care about is time, money, and hassle for them. What's in it for them? So speak that way to them. So, you have heard this one before, sorry, but a few things that are deal breakers for me. Now, please get this signed off with your directors and heads of TA before you do this. Do not get fired and come and tell me that it's my fault that you got fired. But no meeting is no working on the role. Okay? Because your job is to save that time, that money, and that hassle from the manager, which will save yours, but it's about the manager. It's always about the manager. And you know that the meeting is much more than, but it's on the job description. Because you know the meeting is, well, what happens if you don't turn up for that interview? Who is subbing in? Who do I go to? Actually, the same mentee had this troubling situation where they couldn't get this person interviewed this week. And actually a client project was going to fall over because of it, but the hiring manager was on the client site and couldn't interview. And it was this, well, who else can interview? That should have been agreed at the beginning of the process. And then that way you don't have this problem. And that's why that meeting is so much more. But the other thing you need to do in that meeting is prove your worth. And this is the AI thing. Why are you so much better than AI? Why should they be talking to you? And you have to do it in that meeting. Every single time you have that conversation with the manager about the job. So you need to show them why you matter, because AI won't fix. Actually, the big thing that I'm trying to get them to understand in this is that managers cannot articulate who they need to hire. And the worst thing is they're now going to go to AI and go, tell me what a Java developer does. Here you go. Can you hire me one of those? But you're like, but what are they coming in to fix? Well, you know, what's the role? What are they doing? Who are they working with? What do we actually need here? So the manager can't articulate it. And then we have people writing really bad resumes. Let's be honest, recruiters who look at them day in and day out can't write them. I've seen your profiles. I know, right? And so you're going to end up with this mismatch in the middle because they haven't got you, who is capable of getting the information out of the manager and interpreting these bizarre resumes and CVs and matching people. Because that's your experience. That's what you've learnt over the years. And that's where you have to start showing that value. So, how am I doing? Oh, I'm trying to kind of race through and not race through. So, I've got a tip for this as well, but I need you to stop the people pleasing, the butt covering, having no boundaries. Boundaries can be really scary to put in place. But that manager is an expert in whatever they do, and you are the expert in recruitment. Most managers are accidental managers. I think it's like 80% of managers have never been trained how to be a manager. So they actually don't even know how to lead their team, let alone recruit. But you do, because you talk to the market day in and day out. So go in and set boundaries. You're the expert. Go in with that attitude. I'm the expert. Because these kinds of things, having imposter syndrome, one, it actually doesn't exist, but that's another whole conversation. Imposter syndrome only comes if you're searching for unicorns that don't exist because you haven't pushed back on your manager and said, you're being unrealistic. Let me show you the data. Let's get something realistic. And that feeling of disrespect and being devalued. You need to lose all of that, and you need the AI-proof skills. This was lined up better at home, I'm just saying. Right? You need to develop your human intelligence, and that includes things like creativity. So have a solution to the problem you know that they're going to bring up. Just go hire me that person with that ridiculous skills, will you? Well, I would, but what's going to happen is you're going to do this, so how about we try this? And you go back with the solution already. Be curious, okay? Ask tons and tons of questions. Chapter 5 of the Robot Proof Recruiter has lots and lots of questions that you can ask them to get them thinking, to make them like look at it in a different way and set those boundaries and stop your burnout. I'm very tired of talking to burnout recruiters. So, do you think you're valuable or a cost center? I want you to walk into those meetings, or walk in, turn up in video, right? Sorry, a bit old school. On the call, when you talk to the manager, I want you to hit them with the question. The second they answer the call, not how are you, not any of the blah, I'm here to do a job. How will you know at the end of 12 months you've hired the right person? Yes, I shared that last year. It's my favorite question. I stole it from Steve Levy. How will you know at the end of 12 months you've hired the right person? And they're like, oh my God, I'm thinking. Oh, whoa, I'm thinking. This recruiter's making me think. Oh, I like this recruiter. They made me think. It's extraordinary how when you make someone think, they respect you. So hit them with a really good question and have some great follow-up questions. Really listen to what they say and hit them with another question. Set your boundaries. I'm going to do this, you're going to do this, and together we're going to fill the role. It's a different energy. Remember, you are not there to waste the company's time or money. You are there to do the things that AI can't do. Like get the job description out of their head and match the people. Yes, tech can get in the middle, but you need this bit. If you cannot get your managers to articulate who they really need to hire, the process is broken the whole way through and no tech will fix it. So set those boundaries. And oh my God, I was horrified. This frustrated me no end. There is a section in here about you're not a cost center. Okay, I tell you, I've made the case for you. It's very blunt. But I went to all of my favorite recruiters and I said, who are your star hires? And they went, what? I'm like, I'm sorry, guys. What do you mean you don't know who your star hires are? Who have you hired for your company that has come in and saved millions of pounds? They've come in and sold millions of pounds. What have they done? You need to have at least 5. I want you to have 5 that you know have come into your company and made a difference. And the reason I want you to do that is when the CFO turns around and goes, you're just a cost center, you can go, really? Let me tell you about the last 5 people I hired. Well, there's Bob. He saved us 2 million by implementing this new process. And then there's Judy. She sold us 20 million. Oh, and then there's George. George saved us a client. Do you get the idea? Go and talk to the people that you've hired in your company. How are you doing? What's going on? Give me some, I need some data here. Help save my job, because I am not replaceable by AI, because I'm an amazing TA pro. So that's it. If you would like any help with that, the workshops I do are quite amazing at unearthing their problems. Of course, I have 2 books, in case you hadn't noticed. They're subtly coloured. There is no blue. And I also do mentoring, which is 1-to-1. It's actually on sale until the 30th of the month, which is currently on sale if anyone wants to work with me 1-to-1 to really build up those boundaries and flex your muscle and get those managers where they should be. Thank you. I'm ready for questions.